At First Mariner Bank, we take pride in putting our customers first. That's more than a slogan, it's how we do business. We're constantly working on ways to serve you better.
We all know Ed Hale from his commercials, but whether he's talking about his bank, promoting local businesses, cheering on our sports teams, or making a lasting impact on our tourism industry, Ed Hale is Baltimore through and through. Hi, I'm Marty Bass, here to help honor Ed as he receives the William Donald Schaefer Baltimore Tourism Visionary Award.
Ed Hale, he's all about Baltimore. Ed bleeds Baltimore.
He's a person who never backs down from a tough challenge and never sees a challenge that he doesn't believe he can't turn into an opportunity.
He's helped as a cheerleader for this city to make this a place that people want to visit, people want to live, and people want to have their business in.
There's one word people use to describe Ed. We hear it over and over again. It's a small word, carries a lot of weight. Loyal.
Ed Hale is like his soccer team. He's a blast.
He is one of the guys that continues to make Baltimore, Baltimore.
Ed was born in Hollandtown, Hun, and grew up in a small suburb of Sparrows Point called Edgemere.
Sixth grade report card, Mr. Warren claims I was misbehaving in class, and my mother's response, which was typically done, "I'm sure you will see a change in Eddie. Both his father and I were very ashamed to hear this." So I figured I'd put that up against my honorary PhD from Towson.
In the mid-1960s, Ed actually helped build some of the sheds along the Baltimore Harbor. They happened to sit right across from his towering new office building. Look, here's the key to Ed's success. He's local. It's why he has so much credibility with the people of Baltimore.
Ed is an icon in Baltimore. You know, people say that Baltimore needs boosters, and Ed is a walking Baltimore booster.
He's a self-made person, and that's what Baltimore is all about. He's got blue-collar roots, but yet he can also deal with bank presidents.
If you cut him open and did an analysis on him, his blood is probably Nanny Bo, and you'd probably find crabs in his stomach. You know, he's about as local gets.
Here's an Ed Hale quote about how he handles challenges, quoting, "I pick and choose my spots, I think it through, then I do it." In 1975, that approach took him from working as a clerk at a trailer rental company to owning Port East Transfer, his own trucking and shipping company that grew into much more.
Here's a ship that I used to run from Canada down to New York. It's funny, I wasn't known. I wasn't Ed Hale then. I wasn't. I had this monster trucking, shipping, barge company, and nobody knew who I was until I became the chairman of the Bank of Baltimore.
Ed described his challenging battle to take over the Bank of Baltimore this way, quoting, "I'm taking on people who were born on third base and thought they hit a triple," end of quote. He won that fight. Later, after selling the Bank of Baltimore, Ed hit a grand slam. I mean to the deep seats with First Mariner Bank. And because of his earlier transport company and his new gleaming First Mariner Bank office tower, Ed led the way in turning Canton into an exciting destination for locals and, more importantly, for visitors.
I think he's a visionary. It's always been a gift of his. He could take a look at the worst possible, ugliest, dilapidated building and see the finished product.
He sees diamonds in the rough. Once he pitched a stake in Canton and decided to be an investor in a large way, it has had an impact, and the impact is still growing.
That's only the start of Ed Hale's accomplishments. His ownership of the Baltimore Blast, a storied Baltimore sports franchise, has led to multiple league championships.
This is when we won our first championship, April of 2003.
With 5 titles in the last 7 seasons and with strong attendance, the Blast's home, the First Mariner Arena, became the #1 arena of its size in the country.
You got to give Ed a lot because everyone understands it's not a gold mine. It's not about money with the Blast. It's about giving something back to the community. His mother absolutely loves the Blast. It's a family thing. His mother just talks about it all the time. He brings her to the games, and for that, I'm sure that has a small place in his heart too, to keep the Blast in Baltimore.
And then there's Miss USA. As co-chair of the event, Ed brought the pageant here not once, but twice, and all of the national media exposure that it generated. And of course, there was the party at Ed's farm.
Miss USA was kind of looking for a home, so we knew that if we got the right group together that we could attract Miss USA to Baltimore. It'd be a great way to show off the city. Knowing how long-suffering and self-sacrificing Ed is, I knew that he would volunteer for this job.
Ed has brought his successful business sense and do-it-now attitude to Baltimore's tourism industry. As chairman of what was then BACFA, Ed pushed for the creation of a joint board to oversee both the Baltimore Convention Center and what is now Visit Baltimore. The Baltimore Convention and Tourism Board has led to a more seamless sales process, and convention sales have doubled.
Ed's done tremendous things for Baltimore, and in particular when it comes to turning BACFA around and actually increasing the visitorship, the people coming to Baltimore. He was exactly the right person at the right time.
We have more visitors coming every year as a result of Ed Hale's work. And that's great for Baltimore's future. It's great for our economy. It creates jobs here. So Ed is directly responsible for more conventions, more visitors coming to our city, creating more jobs, and creating a brighter future for Baltimore.
I think he wanted to help create energy and vitality for the city. I think he wanted Baltimore to have a new sense of self-confidence in the way we then told the story about ourselves. And he likes when Baltimore has a winning streak.
Excuse me as I take a moment from my hosting duties to just tell you an Ed Hale story. We all go to dinner meetings, and more of them are like business than a cordial meeting you'd actually really want to have over dinner. So your wife will say, you're meeting so-and-so and so-and-so at 5:30. What time do you think you'll be home? I don't know. They talk forever. I'll see when I get home. It's pretty simple with Ed. What time's dinner? 5:30. You having dinner with Ed at 5:30? When are you going to be home, babe? 7:15. Gotta love Ed.
He's very decisive, which is good, but he listens, which is very good. And he also doesn't like to have long meetings, which is also very good.
He's a nice, sweet, gentle, kind soul. Very soft-spoken.
Really?
Did that sound believable?
No.
Okay.
Pathological modesty is something that we sometimes suffer from in Baltimore, but it is not an affliction that ails Ed Hale.
I would say that Ed loves anything that begins with the word O. Orioles, O'Brickies, and Old Bay.
It's Ed Hale's business savvy, his straight talk approach, and his fierce loyalty that has made a lasting and needed difference in the city of Baltimore.
Ed Hale is loyal to Baltimore. He's a self-made person. He's a true friend. I refer to him as a foxhole friend. He's one of those individuals that every community would love to have.
I think Ed Hale's legacy for Baltimore is he's kind of shaken us by the lapels and told us that our best days are ahead of us if only we work hard to achieve them. And he's a person that has a pride of place in this place called Baltimore.
Thank Ed Hale for what you've done for Baltimore.